Campus, and we're going to give you a general tour. My name is Havila. I'm going into my third year of the Bachelor's of Marketing program. And on this side, we have...
My name is Kiki, and I'm also going into my third year of my Bachelor of Commerce for Marketing program. And yeah, we're just going to take you on a general campus tour. I was going to say, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, but I won't be able to answer them. So we're going to start here. Right now, the building that we're in, this is the Welcome Center at the Lakeshore Campus. This was built in 2016 as a central hub for Humber students. So if at any time during your stay at Humber, you find yourself in need of anything at all, if you find yourself in this building, you're definitely on the right track. And I'll just be talking about some of the services that are running from this building. So you could just come this way with me. So over here on my left is the Academic and Career Success Center. On the academic side, we have a program called the Peer Assisted Learning Support Program, where you would get a maximum of 3 hours of extra tutor time for very, very program-specific courses. So for example, for me, since I'm in marketing, if I had a class like Marketing Research Methods that's very specific to marketing students, the program would help me with that course specifically, and I would get a maximum of 3 hours, but there's no maximum amount of weeks I could use this program for. And we also have something called the Peer Assisted Study Session, where it's a peer-led group study session that you and your friends could go just to learn about more classes that you're maybe struggling in, and to have other peers from other classes come help you with that as well. And on the career success side, we have something called the Work Study Program. It's the ambassador program. You could work in multiple different departments all across the campus, where Humber would basically be the one employing you, and you would work a maximum of 24 hours. And they're very flexible and lenient with scheduling. So if you needed to take some time off to study for an exam or to maybe do an assignment, you would always have that option. And managers are very, very flexible because they recognize that you're a student before you are an employee. And also in this specific place, some of the services that they offer are in-person mock interviews. If you needed any help with interviews, if you had any to take. We also have a career portal, which is called the Career Connect Job Portal, where you would be able to apply for positions that are only available to Humber students. They also help you with your resume, with your online profiles, if you ever needed help with that. And they're very, very lovely and friendly in this office space over here. And yeah, this is your space.
And then also to note, you have all these resources even 2 years after you leave the college. So if after 2 years you still want to come and smile like Kiki, she's still here, you can if she's still here. And you can always come in and have someone assist you with your resumes, your cover letter, even a mock interview. If you decide to change careers, we've got you. They were very smart when they named this center. They're really about your career success.
And we'll be moving further down to the Office of the Registrar. Did you want to just...
So, I'm sorry, you can go.
Yeah.
So, this is this Office of the Registrar. Now, when you become a Humber student, you do get access to My Humber. Now, My Humber is I like to say it's your best friend. You do everything through My Humber. You apply for your classes, pay your tuition, upload for your ID. Everything is accessible through My Humber. But let's say something isn't working through My Humber, or you don't understand something. The Office of the Registrar is the in-person extension for that. Now they can assist you with financial aid, for admission support, and if you don't understand how to navigate the My Humber system, they're also there as well for that support as well. Now, the only thing you can't do at the Office of the Registrar is to pay your tuition.
Exactly.
Now, they're not going to pull out a POS system for you to tap and go, but they can walk you through the steps of how to pay your tuition, whether it's online or through your bank institution. Everything else is accessible through My Humber, but they've got your back just in case you need in-person appointments. It is recommended that you stop at the front desk and get a ticket or send an appointment beforehand, but sometimes you can walk in if there's availability.
The only office I would say that you wouldn't be able to make a walk-in appointment for is financial aid. They do only run by appointments now, so you would have to call beforehand. Okay, all right, so now we're heading up to the second floor. So if you guys could just follow me this way. Yeah, just in case some other people come. Yeah. Going up. Oh. So beforehand, actually, on these walls were different stories about different indigenous people who lived around this land before Humber moved in. So we're hoping to get that back, but for right now, it's just empty walls. All right, and welcome to our Student Life Center.
Oh, I didn't even see you there.
Oh,
Hey.
when did you get here?
I took the elevator.
Oh.
Oh.
So over here is our Student Life Center. As you can see, it's a space for students to connect with each other. They're doing a little paint session right there right now. Our Student Life, they're hosting, when there's some lemonade.
Okay. So,
Hi.
oh,
We'll come back.
we come back
for it,
later. We're
yeah.
actually just doing a tour right now. It's on YouTube, and we're just showing the resources we have. And it's
Yeah.
a perfect opportunity that you guys are actually doing something. So they see that we're telling the truth. Just let go to the rhythm of the sun.
So this is the Student Life Center, and as you can see, they're very, very good with getting students to be able to come and to connect with each other. This is one of the events that they have. They have multiple different events and just like things that students can come and do just to connect with each other. They also host something called the orientation, as well as FYE, which is your first year experience. Orientation usually happens a week before your classes start, where you'd be able to come on campus, speak to different program coordinators, to different professors, as well as people who are already in your program. So if you have any questions for them, you're able to ask them during that time. The FYE first year experience is where when you first start, you'd be paired with someone who is in an upper year or their final year of your program or a program similar to yours. And they just help you become very, very used to the Humber space, as well as any like classes that you have. They could help you, give you information about professors to take. They could also give you information about like classes and any homework that you have. They could also help you with any of that. And you could also apply to become a peer mentor once you reach your third or final years of your program as well. They also have something called the CCR, which is your co-curricular record, where you would attend maybe a workshop where you would volunteer, and they would use that as professional experience on your resume. And now we're walking down this way.
So over here we have the Student Wellness and Accessibility Center, also known as SWAC. Humber loves your abbreviations. So if you ever hear someone say go to the SWAC Center, this is what they're talking about. Now on the wellness side, we do have doctors and nurses available on campus, and it is recommended on your first visit if you can bring your insurance to do so that if you ever decide to come back to the center, you're already in the system and registered and ready to go. There's also counselor services here. So if you want to talk about personal problems or academic problems, it can be done here. And all the sessions are strictly confidential. So if anything you say there, your professor will never hear back to use it against you in class. So if you told him like all he does is talk, he'll never know that you said that. There's also COVID tests available in here, flu shots, and even referrals to specialists. So you can get referrals to a physiotherapist, to a speech therapist, etc. for what you may need. They can give you referrals in here so you can find one. And on the accessibility side, if you're someone with an IEP or special accommodations like you have a child or you live very far, it would need like special extensions like your exams or on your assignments, this would be the center you speak to. It is recommended that once you're registered in your class, tell them 3 weeks before so that they can tell your professors like, hey, there's someone in the class who has accommodations. Let's work together and see how best we can accommodate it so that they can still pass their course. Okay? Cool.
And now down there, we have the LGBTQ plus resource center. They are for the LGBTQ plus community, as well as they have different events that happen in there. They have something called a Q social, where people who are part of that community, as well as allies, just come to connect and speak about different issues or any problem concerns that they're having within the community. They also have different clubs and events. So they have an art club, they have a book club, they also have movie events that they do in there. They also speak on student health and wellness. So there are different kits that they have, and then there are different resources that they also have inside the space. Let's see if anyone's here. Hi there. We're just giving a virtual tour of Humber, and we just wanted to show them your space. Is that okay? So as I said before, they just had different pamphlets about health and everything, and you could speak to anyone in here. They're really open, really welcoming. They also do have work study applications that run through here, as well as bursary and scholarship applications. So if that was ever anything you were interested in, you could always just search them up. And now we're stepping out this way. Thank you. Can't go wrong with the throwback
You can
playlist.
never.
Okay. And now on the third floor,
Oh,
we have our
yes.
testing services as well as our principal's office and as well as our Indigenous Education and Engagement Center. Let's hope you never need the principal's office though, because that means you're in trouble, and we hope that you're not that when you start here. The Indigenous Education and Engagement Center is mostly, since Humber is built on Indigenous land, we like to keep that history in a lot of things that we do. So if you ever wanted research or you just wanted to be more knowledgeable about the Indigenous community and how they were living here before Humber actually moved in, you could always do that at the third floor. And the testing services, they work really close with the Accessibility Center, where if you do need that extra time on a test or an exam, or you missed it for a good reason and your professor is allowing you to retake it, or for any admission testing that you needed, you could always do that in the testing service on the third floor. And I think that's everything for this building. We'll just be heading back down to the
Downstairs.
first floor.
Yeah.
Found you.
So our last stop for the Welcome Center is going to be the Lakeshore Grounds Interpretive Center. Yeah, that's what it's called. So a little other fun fact is that Lakeshore used to be a psychiatric hospital. So we had a lot of patients. Well, not we, but they had a lot of patients back in the days. And we like to just recognize the history of the psychiatric center. When we get to the colleges, you will see that we did keep the original infrastructure. We just kind of like remodeled it for classroom space and for staff space. However, in recognizing the history, we have the interpretive center. So they run different stuff like tunnel tours, history tours, or even film tours, because a couple of movies and shows have been filmed on our campus. So they have all those history and all those fun facts about our campus that you may not necessarily just know. And if you're like, hey, that interests me, you can always come in, book an appointment, or sometimes they do have their own work study programs and volunteer opportunities in this office as well. Currently, they have a carousel going on with the patient called Grace. When the psychiatric hospital was closed, a lot of patient records were destroyed by the Ministry of Health. So it's really cool when they found like letters from Grace and like her clothing and stuff like that. So once it's open, you're able to just walk in, and they do have like a little map of the cemeteries and just like the names of patients who have been through the psychiatric hospital. They always have pamphlets here and always contact information if they're ever closed. And you don't have the time to sit and wait, but you have the time to just grab something and go. The center is here for you. It's pretty cool, is it not? And then we have our every lovely Starbucks here as well. So if you're on this type of campus, or if you're a Starbucks girl like Kiki, this would be the best place for you to find Starbucks. Okay. So if there are no questions here for the Welcome Center, we're gonna head over to the colleges right now.
Yes.
No questions yet.
Okay.
Great.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, I get it. Yeah. Not sure if you guys see some green dots on it. This was actually some of the migration ways of some of the indigenous people and how they made their way across the lakeshore. So that's a really cool fun fact that we have on here at campus.
Now, I'm not sure how many of you are gonna commute to this campus. It depends on how far you have to commute. However, you never have to worry about, are you gonna get the bus or are you gonna get stranded? At that bus stop across the road, we have the 44 and the 944. Those run from the Samuel Park Loop to Kipling Station. The 44 is the regular bus, while 944 is the express. On this street here, which I believe is Lakeshore, we can get the 501 that runs from the Lakeshore Loop down to the Long Branch GO station. It's a streetcar, and there are buses as well that run that direction. So anywhere you need to go, there's connection here for you. And if you decide to drive, we do have parking spaces for people who drive. So you're good either way.
This campus is so beautiful.
It is.
Maybe I am biased. If you want to see more of this beautiful, beautiful campus or more content like this, I think you should really subscribe to the Humber YouTube profile. I think that'd be very beneficial for you.
So we're going to be passing a few schools. Sometimes the ambassadors like to joke and say you can live your entire life at Lakeshore. We have an elementary school. There's a high school. There's Humber College, of course, and there's a old retirement home. Now, the elementary, the high school, and retirement home has nothing to do with Humber at all. But like, you can live your entire life here. You can, if you want, go to elementary, go to high school, go to Humber, retire there. You're good to go.
And also, let's not forget that there is a yacht club down at the lake. So if you have any midlife crises,
the best place.
Buy a yacht.
See, Lakeshore is the outside campus, so you see more greenery, more flowers. You feel more, I don't know,
connected with nature.
That's the best way to put it. It's really great. Take long strolls, and if you continue down this path here, you end up right at the lake. That's why we're called Lakeshore. So it's like a 5-10 minute walk, depending on what direction you're coming from. And the lake is really pretty, really serene. I walk down there sometimes, and I don't like to walk, but it's really nice down there. And you can see ducks. There are different people walking their dogs on the trails. The people walking their dogs are super nice, and the dogs are always sweet. So you go like, "Can I pet it?" And they're always like, "Sure." And you can always like go look at the yacht club. And sometimes the yacht club even hires students. So that's always something you guys can look into as well.
And there's also bird watching trails down that way as well when you go to the lake, because there are around like 400 different species of birds just on this campus alone, which is something the Lakeshore Grounds Interpretive Center also covers. So if you ever just wanted to see like different variations of a single bird, you could just do that while you're walking down the way to the lake as well.
Oh.
There's a lot of construction happening on Humber right now, but that's just to make it better for when you guys start in the fall.
Yeah.
So just be patient with us, please.
Construction will be done by fall.
Yes. Usually when we get over here, we just press this button over. So cars know that we'd be passing by. There are no cars right now, but it's nice to take the precaution. Safety first, yes. It's important. Because of construction, I'm just not going to enter through this side. We're going to come in from the other side to see the building.
But also gives us the time to talk about the bikes here. These are ran by the City of Toronto. However, they're open for students. So if you guys want to ride your bike, you can rent it and just drop it off at any other Tangerine drop-off station. You pay for the time that you use it, and you're good to go. So if you don't want to take the bus, you don't want to drive, but you live close enough you can bike, but you don't own one, City of Toronto and Humber has your back for that.
All right, now we've made it to the other side of the Humber's Lakeshore campus. We will start over here with this building, the C building. Just going from this way. All right, so this is the C building, also known as the Faculty of Social and Community Services. Well, something you would know about this side of the campus is that some of the cottages are home to specific faculties, and some of them are just general classrooms. We'll let you know which one's which, but for this one, it is the Faculty of Social and Community Services, which is home to different programs like the paralegal program, the Bachelor of Behavioral Science program, as well as police foundations. But just because this is the home faculty does not mean all of your classes will be in your home faculty. You could be anywhere throughout campus. It's up to you and how you want to choose your schedule, but they will not all be in the same faculty space.
That's the only thing. In this faculty as well, downstairs, we do have 2 simulator labs, which is This simulator is one of Canada's first 360 simulators. We have a driving simulator, which our police foundation students use to learn how to drive through snow, hail, rain, and just any conditions, which is a way for them to get practice without actually putting them on the road. Because again, safety first.
Yes.
And then we also have the alternative dispute resolution simulator, which is also for our students who are in like mental health, addictions programs, social worker programs, where they're able to deal with different scenarios with different clients. So they can deal with a client who's depressed, a client who's irritated, and just different situations for them to get the experience so that when they go out into the working field, they already know how to handle this specific situation. Again, we are very hands-on, but we don't want to put our students in danger. So this simulator provides for them to have that experience before actually leaving the school.
Exactly.
Cool.
And if we just walk in
inside.
here, I just wanted to show you our classroom spaces.
Yeah.
So this is generally the classroom size you would find in every cottage. As you can see, it tends to run very, very small. And that's just because Humber wants to give you a space where you can connect with your peers as well as your professors. And instead of you being instead of you feeling like you're a fish out of water in a very, very big auditorium in a university, you would feel very, very close and connected with everyone, and you'd be able to speak to your peers when you're in class.
Like
that's how I met Havila.
Like even right now, you're across the table, but I can still talk to you.
Exactly.
Hey Kiki.
Hi.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
No. Do you?
We talk about it after class.
Yay. So as you can see, they are small, so it's a nice way to feel connected to everyone around you. And now we're just heading outside. Have you seen this picture before?
A couple times.
A couple times?
So if you guys can put your attention to this picture here, this is what the campus looks like now. Now the really cool thing about Lakeshore is that it's built in a literal U. So we're in this building here, C Cottage. And if you know your alphabet, which I believe you guys do, if you take a C-U shape, every building you meet across would be in the same alphabetical order. So it's C, D, E, F, G, all the way around to K. The big lovely building in the middle is the L building, and our small building is a K building, which is attached to our Tim Hortons. Now, if you're at G, you can either go to F or go to H. It's kind of simple to just like navigate. And at the back here, it shows you where the lake is and the different trailing routes to the lake that you guys can take if you decide to. Now,
something fun about the G building actually is that actually used to be the head of what the Psychiatric Institute was. Mm-hmm. So if you walk down a little further
and you look here,
you'd be able to see this is what the institute looked like when it was a Psychiatric Institute. And this pointy building over here was actually the G building. So that used to be the front, and now we've kind of almost flipped it over, where the front is now the back. And the back is the front. So no questions. We're just gonna keep heading outside.
No, we've got about 24 people in the stream. We've got 3 likes, but we've got no questions yet. So.
Okay, that means we're doing a good job then, I hope.
Ooh, nice.
So if you guys can see, there's a building that says M on it. So toward the left-hand side of that building, that is where our Department of Public Safety office is. There are 2. There's one on this side on the campus, and there's another one closer to where the residence is. So if you take a look to my right, your left, you are going to see a yellow emergency phone pole. They're located all across the campus as well as in some parking lots. If at any time during you found yourself in need of the Department of Public Safety, you could always just press the phone button on the emergency phone pole, and that would activate a 360-degree camera to show the department where you were so they could come and assist you as quickly as they can. The only thing they ask is that you stay where you are after you have hit that call button, because if you move, they don't know where to find you anymore. But some of the services that they offer a campus walk program, where if at any time during your stay at campus you found yourself in need of and wanting someone to help you walk to your car, to a bus stop, or to residence, they could help you with that. Or maybe you're here and it's winter time and the sun went down at 4 p.m. and you don't feel comfortable walking by yourself anywhere, they would always help you out. They also have the Humber Emergency Auto Response Team program, or our HEART program. It's for your car problem. So if your battery is dead or you need someone to help you tow your car, they could do that for you free of cost. It's built into your tuition, and those are my favorite words, free. So those are some options for you. And they also have a Guardian app where you could access all of these services and many more through the comfort of your own phone. They also have something called the Campus Compass, where if you needed help, and it even knows what floor you're on. So you really have a very, very good educational system and app. And on the right-hand side of that building, we have our campus Tim Hortons. You should get there really early though, because they do tend to be very, very popular and run out very, very quickly. We'll just keep walking this way.
Now, as we're walking, one of the really cool things that we like to point out is that what we're walking on right now are actually tunnels. So when this used to be the psychiatric hospital, in order to transfer patients from cottage to cottage, tunnels were built. And they built them and they transferred from cottage C to cottage G, depending on what cottage you need to be to. Now, these tunnels are not open for students to just have general access to, but however, you can book a campus tour at the Lakeshore Interpretive Center if you're really interested in seeing these tunnels. And they're Kiki did one, and she said it was really well lit. I'm excited to do one super soon, and that sparks your interest, isn't it, for you?
Oh, another thing they used the tunnels for actually was to transport medicine as well as food. Just because during the winter time, if you try to transport things outside with the really, really harsh winters, they would get really cold really quickly. So they also use the tunnels for that. And if you didn't know, patients actually built the tunnels. That's something I learned during the tunnel tour.
They built the tunnel?
Yeah.
How they built the cottages?
That I don't know. They only spoke about the tunnels. Oh no, I think it was them as well.
Yeah, they built it as part of their treatment.
They went to Lakeshore. They got actual like lake
Stuff
rock
and built it.
and then they built it.
So that they didn't feel like they were in a hospital. They didn't feel like home.
Home. So if you actually notice, we skipped the D building and we're going to do the same thing with the E. That's because they're not home to any specific faculties. They're just overflow classrooms and office spaces. So you're not going to find anyone specific in there, but you may have a class in there.
Very true. I'm in business. I've only had 2 classes in the H building, but I've had at least 3 in the E building so far. Oh, listen to the birds. I don't know what species of birds this one is.
We should get a bird watcher to come tell us. I only know about grackles.
Grackles. I know about pigeons. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, pigeons.
Cool.
It's hard to point out right now, but if you look across the street behind all those big trees, there is something of a gray building that should be poking out to you. That is where our Center for Justice Leadership, also known as our Annex, is. They work very closely with the Faculty of Social and Community Services. In there, they have a mock courtroom where the paralegal students are divided into the different sections of government, and then they go through the motions of an actual court case. They also have a mock crime scene in there, for the forensic students to go in and get any evidence or data that they need to be able to solve the case. Again, to get more hands-on experience before they go out into the actual world. And there are also some classrooms in there, so you could have a class in there and it would show up on your schedule as AN before the class.
Yeah, and even if you don't have classes over there, but you want to see what it's like, you're always free to go over there and just walk around. They may not allow you to like dust for prints like the forensic students, but it's still really cool for you to see just how the labs are set up.
And I'll be heading into this building over here. Hold the next one up.
So this is the F building, also known as the Faculty of Media Arts, Media and Creative Arts. We like to say it's one of the prettiest faculties on campus, just because of the faculty it allows for students to really express their creativity. Which is why on the walls we have different murals, different past students' projects, in these cases over here, just kind of like exhibit just how cool it really is in this faculty.
And now we're gonna take you downstairs just for one of our probably most favorite places on the campus. All right, this is the F faculty's computer lab, and I would like to call this probably Humber's prettiest computer lab because it is attached to this faculty. You get your pick of Mac or Dell computers. So depending on which one your preference was, you could use both. And I also like to point out the study space over there, which is first come, first serve, as well as this reclining chair with the 3 monitors, which is available for all students to use, not just students within this faculty. And I just feel like it's a really cool thing for you to be able to use before you're out in whatever your field of industry is. And I also really like this space because it is quieter. And when you're at school, you're always going to want to find a quiet space to study. So
yeah, it's really cool study spaces. As Kiki said, we have MacBooks and Dell laptops. Down here, there's also a fireplace for students to use, as well as printing is directly in this computer lab. Now, with printing, you do get 25 credits each semester, which is equivalent to about 500 pages. Now, these 500 pages are not stackable, so you can't stack them to 2,000 pages. However, they are renewed every semester, so every 4 months while you are Humber students, you have access to 500 pages to print here just straight off your account. Now, if for some reason you do run out of 500, you can always add more if you want to. Highly doubt that you will, but if you do, that's availability is there for you as well.
there's also a walk station right over here where if you're very athletic and you wanted to get some steps in as you're doing your work, that was an option for you. I don't see a lot of people using it though. And there is a little cafeteria over here that does open up during the fall and the winter semesters that students can always buy food from. Down that way, we do have an advertising agency that works really closely with the public advertising students, as well as all the other advertising programs, where they would work with actual companies on getting their designs out there and being able to have that portfolio and build it while they're still doing school before they actually make it out to the real world. So I find it very, very helpful for you to be able to build your portfolio with other agencies before you actually have to grab your diploma or your degree. And now on the second floor of this building, we have our math and writing centers. I did mention earlier on a PALS program, but that is for very program-specific courses. For the Math and Writing Center, it's for more remedial math, more statistics, as well as if you have a thesis you need to write or an essay that you're having problems with, you could always take it up to them and they would be more than happy to help you with all of that. And you could also apply to become one of the tutors for the Math and Writing Center. And if there are no questions again, we're just gonna go outside.
No questions in chat yet. I'll let you know when we get some.
Okay.
Got lots of viewers liking our stream and watching, so that's great.
Okay, lovely sun out here.
Yes.
But for viewers we're seeing, and you're like, something about this campus just seems so familiar to me. And you're like, I can't put my finger on it. Let me ease your mind. You may have seen it on TVs or on your cinema. A lot of movies and shows have been recorded at campus. We've had at least 2 My Big Fat Greek Weddings recorded here. I believe all 4 police academies, Lock and Key, Hazmat Tales recorded in our tunnels, and a bunch more. And if you want to learn more, you can always look up online or book a tour with the Interpretive Center. They also do that as well. So if you ever come here or you're like, just need on your TV or at this open space as well. And along it, you may see some brown markers. That's just as well just to mark the indigenous. There's also a shelter there for people to go and sit. You are free to sit there if you're not a part of the community. We just ask that you leave it clean, just out of respect. And if you want to sit outside at any of these benches, you're more than welcome to. It is always accessible for you.
So right now we are at our G building, also known as Longo Center for Entrepreneurship. This is probably by far my most favorite building. Some people think it's because there are no classes in there, which does add to it. But in this building, on the first floor, which is common event that being hosted by Humber, this is where it is. So if you find something that is being hosted by Ignite, that's being hosted by the Black Student Support and Engagement, that's being hosted
Diwali festival in here during Diwali time, Christmas stuff, New Year stuff,
St. Patrick's Day stuff,
a whole
Valentine's
bunch
Day
of stuff.
They have everything.
It would be
that
in
you
this
could think of
building.
and more.
Now, the really cool thing about the G building, it is the only college that we have that we did additional structure to. So this glass part, which Kiki said, it is the BMO Commons. So the front part is what we added on, and at the back we have the actual G building with the actual original infrastructure. Now, this is the unique college just because of this glass building here. Now, as a part of the Longo Center of Entrepreneurship, they do have a program where they can assist students who have an entrepreneurial spirit and they just want some help or startup. Now, you don't have to be a business student to do this. If you have the idea and you have the passion, they've got you. They've got your back. They have something where it's kind of like Shark Tank.
So that's the BMO Launch Me
Exactly.
campaign or event where you would apply and you would go to a couple workshops to help you plan your business proposal. And then you basically come to Humber's a version of a Shark Tank where you would propose that plan to a whole bunch of people on a panel. And if you are selected, you win a portion of a prize fund, which it's to help you start your business.
Yeah.
And I actually know a story about a nursing student. She did this same event. She won a part of the prize fund and no one knows if she finished her degree or not.
We also have a really successful auto aquarium in Toronto that started off the Humber CFE plan. So like if you guys are interested in this, check it out.
Also in the G building on the second and the fourth floors, we do have study rooms. On the fourth floor, it's more first come, first serve.
So that's Orla the secret.
Yeah. They're called the lofts. And they're really super spacious. They're really, really big, and you don't have to worry about needing enough space for you or your group members. But the second floor, which is probably the better kept secret, those are the rooms that you would have to book out.
Yeah.
And once you've booked that out, honestly, you could book it out for multiple hours. No one can tell you to leave because it's your space for as long as you booked it out. And those are probably my favorite study rooms.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that you're actually studying. You just want somewhere quiet on campus to go
Exactly.
sit. Just book it out in advance, and you have that time for the time you booked it for.
And again, because there are no classes in this building,
super quiet.
And no one knows what's happening in here. But now you do. And now for the best part of this building is
Kiki's
the third floor. It is my favorite place ever. This is how I know about this building to begin with. It's called the Idea Lab. It's a place, honestly, it's a part of our library, but it's not boring with books and all. Not that books are boring. It's a place where you could work on your creative passions that maybe your program wouldn't allow you to. They have a music production room with different MIDIs. They have a photo and video room. They have a podcast room, 3D printers, a Cricut, a laser cutter. Like they just have so much stuff that you could use. And that's the first place where I went to that really felt like home at Humber. I use a music production room all the time, and I just love the space over there. They equip you with any of the materials that you needed. So if you're using the Cricut, you could get some of the materials that you would need. If you're using the photo and video lab, they would give you the camera that you would use, tripods if you need it. Anything you need, honestly. So I feel like if you are someone who is very creative in that aspect, that you should definitely check it out as soon as you get here. It's going to be your favorite place on earth ever. I promise you. Take my word. And that's everything for this G building. And now it is a very, very cool building. Please come visit it. But we're going to head over to the H building now. It is quite sunny.
It's sunny. I mean, I can't complain.
Yes. Winter is better than, summer is better than winter. All right.
Great. Okay, welcome to the H building. Now, the H building, it hosts the homes for three things. The Accounting Center, International Center, or the Faculty of Business. So let's start with the faculty. If you're a professor or you're part of faculty of business, 70% of your professors are going to be in this building. We do recommend before you show up and just ask, always text your professor first and ask them for their office hours and where exactly they're located. However, this is your faculty. This is where you can go and speak to someone at the front desk if you have questions specifically for business. Now, behind us is the Accounting Center and the International Center. So,
No problem.
no problem. On the international side, it is there for international students just to help them phase into Humber a little bit better. Some they sometimes host trips to Montreal, Rogers Stadium, CN Tower, just to make them know like Toronto is your home and we have you. There's also something called a semester or summer abroad program, where students are able to go to a different country for a set amount of time to set an elective, and then once the elective is finished, the credits are then transferred back to Humber so that they have a chance for credit when they get back into Canada. Then we also have the Accounting Center, which is one of our peer tutoring service on campus. So we talked about PALS, PASS, and the Math and Writing Center. So the final one is the Accounting Center. So if you have any questions or need assistance with like accounting, you don't know what the income statement is or a balance sheet, I can't remember the rest right now. But if you're having questions with anything with accounting, you can always come in and they can assist you. The Accounting Center also runs a free tax clinic during tax season, where students are able to come and get their taxes done for free. And I promise you, you won't be owing the government any money. You will be getting a refund when they do your taxes. And there's also just free study spaces in here as well. So you can just grab a chair or grab a couch as long as it's free. It's just a grab and go option. And it's honestly amazing. And as well, because the classes in this building are so spread out, it is one of the quieter colleges on campus as well. Okay, we're gonna head out.
Back that way, we actually have a Xerox print center where you can print your heavier duty prints, so like banners, posters, things like that. It is not included in your print credit that Havila touched on earlier, but it is heavily discounted for students. So if that was something you're ever interested in, you have it over here. Oh yeah, no, you can go through. No problem. Hey, so you know how the lake is a 10-minute walk from here? Have you seen those people who went paragliding or parasailing on the lake?
No.
You know that's something you could do actually?
I've seen skating. I've never seen the paragliding.
No, you haven't?
No.
They do that all the time.
I learned something new today. I know about skating. I know in winter they do have a skating rink.
They do?
They do that you can go on, and a lot of persons, not just Humber students, but Toronto people come as well.
Yeah.
So now I know about the paragliding. I might just go research that right now.
And it's the best time because it's summer.
Exactly.
Always things for you to do at the...
You can't go hungry, you can't get stranded, and now we have activities. I love my campus.
I love my campus. I may be biased, but it's okay.
I love my campus. I love both campuses. Lakeshore, check out the Arboretum at the North Campus.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Sorry. So if you actually notice, we skipped over the I and the J buildings for the same reasons we skipped D and the E. They're just not home to any faculties, just overflow classrooms and office space.
Yeah. A lot of persons ask us, what are these grilled up things? They are the fire escape. The reason why it's grilled up, just imagine, God forbid, some emergency happened. They're grilled up. Just in case we do have to use them, you're still safe.
We have never had to use
We've
them.
We've never had to use them, but we had questions before, like why are they grilled up? And I know some our viewers may have that question as well. So just let's tell them. I don't think it's working.
It's not. Hi there. Oh, yeah. We're just doing a virtual tour.
Hi.
So this is the K building, also known as the Ignite building. It's the only other cottage where no classes are held. So it's a second favorite for me. Downstairs, we have the Zen Zone as well as a sleep lounge. So if you ever found yourself on campus and you wanted to take maybe up to an hour of extra sleep time in between your classes, or maybe you were tired and you wanted to take a nap before you had to drive or take the transit back home, that was always an option for you downstairs. It is first come, first serve. You just need to show a piece of your ID to be able to use it. And if you're someone who you need help getting up as soon as you're done sleeping, the attendant over there is really, really gentle. They'll come wake you up really nicely. Like, hey,
your hour's up.
it's time to go.
Come back tomorrow.
So you would never oversleep or spend too much time on campus if you didn't want to. And the Zen Zone is something similar, except there's no sleeping that happens there. It's just a quiet, calm zone for you to be able to use. And if you walk with us further down this way, actually, we have a student center over here as well as some study spaces. We do actually have study rooms in this building as well that tend to not be used because there are no classes that happen in here. So if you ever found yourself on this side of the campus and you needed a study room or somewhere to study or to have some quiet time or quiet space, Ignite was the place where you could come to. They also cover you with a health plan. You have health insurance. And one of the ways where you could access it is if you take this card. It is offered being given out at the Ignite Center. And you could also find it on their website online, where you would just input your student number and you could take it to any place where you would need dental or prescription. And it's a flex plan. So if you knew you needed more coverage on dental instead of prescription, you could flex it that way and vice versa. You actually knew someone who got their glasses completely for free
off of it.
just from the insurance plan. So that was always an option. And if you are already covered by an insurance plan, maybe a private one or through your parents, you could always opt out
and get your money back.
But it is better to at least have all the coverages. And they also won't let you opt out if you
are not
covered by any.
They're not going to leave you uncovered. Ignite also holds a task clinic as well. At this task clinic, students are able to volunteer and get some hours if that interests you. Ignite also holds a lot of events. So any of our major events will be coming from Ignite. We had a concert with Myra the Scientist and Richard Kidd last semester. We've had many different talks with like celebrities, for example, Liza Koshy, and they just host different stuff. If you look over here, they do have like a basketball thing. Sometimes they will take this out and they'll have to shoot balls for like a free drink or a free snack or something free.
Something free. They
Ignite's
really do
always
like
giving out
things.
something free. And we love Ignite because we love the word free.
Yeah. So if you ever found like a lineup space coming out from this building, just join
it. Don't ask questions.
Sometimes they chase you down with
that's
food,
true.
You know?
There's one time I didn't want to drink because they're like, no, take it. I enjoyed it.
So they enjoy feeding you. Again, you're never going to go hungry on this campus.
Ignite. Ignite's also where you find all your clubs here. So if you want to join any club at Humber, I promise you we probably have it. We have different clubs. We have dance club, art clubs, religious clubs, math clubs, chess clubs, Caribbean clubs, cooking clubs. Now, if a club is not there that you wanted to see, you can always start your own club. You just need like 10 signatures and a faculty member. And once a club is successful for one semester, Ignite may fund you to make sure the club continues to be successful. So Ignite also supports your dreams, not just academical, but if you're interested in something with recreational.
And you could also apply to be a part of the Ignite team. That's either the government, or if you just wanted to help them out, be a brand ambassador, those are also options for you. And the good thing about that is that it's actually separate from your work study hours. So as I mentioned before, when you're under work study, you can work a maximum of 24 hours under Humber, but Ignite technically isn't under Humber hours. So you would be able to work extra hours with your work study as well as with Ignite. And if you wanted to be a student government body person, there were also applications that go out every, I think, fall or winter semester.
And it doesn't matter what program you're in or what year you're in.
Doesn't.
It's just that you personally, how do you feel about being a part of a student body? And you decide like, hey, I actually want to apply. You apply, get elected, and campaign and get elected. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. And that's everything for Ignite. Now we're going to head back out. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Did you know that behind our school is also a dog park?
I knew that one.
You knew that one?
Yeah.
People love their dogs all around here. I find whenever I get here, there's always like tourists.
There's a
I saw
dog
a
I
multi
passed,
poo.
and they're just like, oh my, and they're jumping, and she's like, oh sorry, she's friendly. I'm like, I have no problem that she's friendly. I love that. They're always the cutest dogs.
They
too.
are. Now onto the L building.
They're cute, the birds.
They're really excited. So this is the L building. This is the cafeteria 2 as well. We have one on this side of campus, and we also have one that's closer to the residents. So the cafeteria, it is closed right now, but we have different options like booster juice. We have pizza. We have build your own burgers, build your own salads, build your own pitas, build your own everything. We also have like breakfast options as well as self-serve Tim Hortons, grab and go options. We have sushi.
Moral of the story: you can't go hungry.
You cannot
at
go
the
hungry
cafeteria.
here at all. And if you were someone who was living in residence or you just had a meal plan for whatever reason, it actually
accept
works
it
at the
here.
Booster Juice,
The Starbucks,
and the
Tim
Tim Hortons
Hortons.
on campus. Again, you will never be going hungry at this
Uh-huh.
campus. This is the L building, so it does have the larger size classroom. So this is probably the only building that you wouldn't be able to escape once you start going to school here. And because this is the cafeteria of the building with the biggest classrooms, it tends to
be
run
a little bit. This building is also the only building that's open 24/7.
Yes, that too.
It's
So
the only
there's always
building.
someone here. There are people here
yeah.
a lot. It tends to be
a little bit loud.
a little noisy.
And it's because it's the place with the biggest classrooms and the main cafeteria. There's also a microwave the students can use if they bring their own food. So there are seating spaces on this side and seating spaces on the next side as well. So that's why it's just a little bit loud here. So if you're looking for a quiet place to study, the L building is not the recommendation for that. But if
you
you're
are looking for somewhere that's
loud, the L building is a perfect place for that.
And now you have both options.
So over here, if you can see, we do have the Ignite symbol down this hall. Most times you would see Ignite events being held there. It's just kind of like their space. There, you're free to sit there. But Ignite is there. They have up like a claw machine, something given out, just something nice. So most times you'd find Ignite here. Here is our soup bar. It is currently not open in the summer, but it will be open back in fall. The culinary arts students at the North Campus, they cook a lot of soup, and then they just freeze them and they send to the soup bar here. Now the soup in here is completely free. You can grab as much as you want to. So if you want to grab 5 different types of soup, you can. You want to bring a grocery bag and go home with the entire soup bar, you can. We just want to make sure that you are fed nutritious food and you never go hungry. It also works well like if you left your wallet at home or if you don't have any money today and you're like, I am starving, you can always come here, warm it up in the microwave, ask after for a spoon, and you're good to go. And the soup is really good, and you get to keep the container in case you need one. So that's also there for you as well.
Over here is our Learning Commons support desk. They're an extension of our tech zone, which is our IT support. Over here, you have a lot of study spaces. Again, it will be on the noisier side just because it is the L building.
Yeah.
But if you wanted somewhere quieter around the space, to the edge over there, we have some bookable study rooms. There are group rooms, and you do book them through the Humber Library's website.
Yeah.
It is, you have to be there for your set time that you booked it for.
If you miss 15 minutes, someone can grab it.
Exactly.
So as Kiki said, we do have the study rooms that you book throughout the Humber's website. So we have about 6. They're all here. And then at the back, there is a quiet space. So in there, group work can't be done in the quiet room. It's really just for solo work. And you know that you want absolutely no noise, it's probably the only quiet place in the L building. So if you don't want to go too far from your classes, but you're a quiet person, the quiet room is there and you don't have to book it. You just walk in once it's available.
Exactly. And if you come over this way, this is actually another one of our print rooms where you can print through any of the computers around. And they also do have a step-by-step form on how to print from your device. And again, it is $25 that every student is covered with every semester. It does renew, it doesn't stack on top of each other, but it doesn't really matter because I don't think I've ever gone over or been low in my credits. And everything is also really done online. So you wouldn't really have to worry about handing in too many paper or printed assignments or anything. But again, it is an option for you because Humber's got you.
There's also the Humber Library book return and also the Humber Library where you can get books here. So this is the portal club tablet setup we have here. We do have the library, but it is on the other side of campus. Now, there are some students who never set foot on that side of campus, depending on their program. Now, if you don't want to go all the way to the library, but you need a book from the library or you borrowed one, you need to return one, there is a drop-off in the library. So you just use this tablet, tap it, do what you need to do. You can book study rooms, you can do staff hours, you can even ask them if you can send the book over to the L building. You pick it up here, and then when you're finished, you return it back into this book slot, and you're good to go.
And luckily, the library also has a database, so you wouldn't even have to go to the library to get a book or anything. You could just do it from the comfort of your own device.
We also have computers here as well along the sides here. They're Dell up here and they're MacBooks down there. So if you're ever in need of a computer, you can use it. There are two types. There are quick use computers that will log you in after 20 minutes. So really good for writing, really bad for writing a thesis paper, really good for printing.
Yes.
We do have computers that are not QuickTime computers, but as we said, this space is always open 24/7. So if you're someone without a computer or your light goes away or your internet goes out, you can always run to campus or drive or take a bus or bike, whichever your transportation mode is, and use one of these computers depending on what you'd like, and you never have to worry about it because this is always here because security is always here.
Yes. Thank goodness for security. So right now, actually, we're just looking for one of the classroom spaces to be open and available to show you how big the classroom sizes are in this building.
Oh, sorry. So this side, we do have Humber Galleries. They're currently closed because they are doing installation right now. But when you do installation, students are able to go and walk in and look at this work that our students did at Humber. No? Okay.
There's one person tucked away in the little corner.
Oh, okay.
Just people tucked away at corners. We'll find an empty classroom, hopefully.
Well, while we're looking for classrooms, we can talk about our locker services. Lockers are available to be used. You can just rent them through your My Humber account. So if you're someone who uses a lot of textbooks, you don't want to haul them back and forth in your car or on the bus, you can rent one and use your locker. End of the semester, you empty it out.
Able to find
the light?
Empty classroom.
Oh. Where's the light?
You actually could just grab a seat. We're about to give you.
Cool.
Cover the lights. Okay.
So this is one of this is the biggest size classrooms you're gonna find at the Lakeshore campus. Again, it does kind of run on the smaller side, but it is on purpose. As you can see, each row of tables do have their own charging ports. You can charge your phone, your computer, and your neighbor has one as well, so you guys won't be fighting over charging ports. And there's also ports in the wall as well in case you do need it. Even as you guys are at the back there, you can clearly see us. We can clearly see you, which means it's the same thing for your professor. So your professor will be able to see you and they will be able to take your questions in class. Even if they can't take your questions in class, if you email them, they're able to identify who this person is and they're able to have that connection with them. So here,
just some information about Humber.
yeah, we're gonna just share you something we like to call the 7 Ps.
So yeah. Just to start, there are over 11,000 full-time students just at the Lakeshore campus alone.
Yeah.
And there are over 33,000 full-time students across all campuses, but you would never actually feel that. Because again, look at the largest size classrooms. It is on the smaller side. I don't think there have been more than 60 people
in this classroom.
And even with the 60 people who could be enrolled in a class, you may not see them
after that
all
class.
the time
Yeah.
during the class. Again, it is a smaller classroom. There are over 220 programs. And that's inclusive of all our degree programs, our advanced diplomas, our regular diplomas, our certificates.
And our master's certificate as well.
Yes, so honestly, that's all within the 200 programs. And around 70 to 80% of them actually do have a co-op or something we call the placement. How it works for us, since we are in a 4-year program, the summer between our 3rd and our 4th year, we would have to get a certain amount of hours of field experience in the industry of our choice of our degree.
Yeah.
So for us, we would maybe be at a marketing firm. And usually what happens is that while you're working in that placement, if that company likes you, they would hire you part-time during your 4th year and then full-time as soon as you've graduated, which is why 87% of Humber students have actually found employment within 6 months of graduating from Humber, because Humber actually really loves to give you all the opportunities to be able to be successful before you actually graduate.
Yeah.
With our program, our professors are actually a good resource for you as well, because they work part-time in whatever industry that they are teaching in, which is amazing because you're not learning from a book that's around like 100 years old. And where as soon as you graduate,
nothing you've learned is relevant to the real world.
So, and now you're gonna have to relearn everything all, from the beginning, which
you
sets you years back.
Confused, just like this.
very confusing. But because the Humber professors do work part-time, they're able to give you real-time information as the industry changes. So as soon as you're ready to start working professionally, as soon as you graduated, you're up to date and up to speed on everything that you actually would be doing in your industry of choice.
So yeah, so it's pretty cool. We have a couple of professors who are actively like advertisers or marketers or accountants. So when they come to school, they can tell us like, hey, this is what the textbook says. However, this is what we're doing right now. So that's why also for your textbook, we recommend to list like at least week for the first week of class. You can actually ask your professor like, hey, this is what on the course outline. Do I actually need to buy this textbooks or not? The professor would tell you yes or no. And some professors are so nice. Sometimes they upload like just certain parts that you would need to know from the textbooks, like in a PowerPoint slide. And that's also there as well. In conclusion with our professors is that we also have pathways. Sort of with our professors, we have pathways. So as Kiki mentioned, we have over 220 programs. If you start out in a diploma or advanced diploma, and you like to pathway from a diploma to an advanced diploma or advanced degree, that's also an option for you as well. So if you'd like to start out like in business administration and you'd like to either go to marketing advanced diploma or marketing bachelor's, that's an option for you as well. What you would do, you would talk to the transfer option people, officers, and they will transfer the credits you've already done into whatever program you're transferring into. And then when you graduate with both credentials, diploma and degree. So you get both credentials in the same amount of time, which is really cool to me. I wish I knew that.
Yeah, I wish I knew that too.
I dived right into bachelor's.
Yeah.
However, I don't regret it. But so that you guys know, that's also an option for you as well.
And something with our programs as well, regardless of whichever program you go into, there is a knowledge aspect and there's also a hands-on aspect, because Humber is actually a leader in being a polytechnic institute. What that is that they take the hands-on approach of a stereotypical college and the knowledge-based approach from a stereotypical university. They put it all into one big program. And I like to say is that they're not just teaching you what to do, but they're teaching you how to do it as well. Because anytime while you're at Humber, you may not fully grasp or understand what's being taught to you unless you're actually able to apply it to real life situations and scenarios. And your teachers actually help you with that. So now you're able to understand, okay, this is what sticky wages means, and this is when we use it in actual real life everyday experiences.
Yeah, and just because Humber is so hands-on, apart from our placement program, we do have your assignments are pretty much very hands-on. Our first assignment in marketing was to make a podcast. I cried a little just because I started a little bit late. Don't procrastinate. But at the end of it, we had to edit our podcast, add music, do a graphic design, do a website, put it up to Spotify or the other uploading system. It was a whole lot of stuff. And we were like, why are we doing this? But the end of it, now we're able to, like, if we wanted to, we can start our own podcast, edit it ourselves, do graphic design, do a website.
And it's also a section of marketing that no one
really actually thinks of. So like we are already like advanced in that, and that was just our second year.
Exactly.
So like your assignments will be very hands-on, but they are like very useful in your actual career life. So that's also, and if you have a question with the professors, you can always talk to them. And if your professors are not responding for some reason, which they hardly ever do, you can always go to your academic advisor and they will be the person you speak to about this.
Humber also actually has like a conflict resolution kind of program that you could use between your peers and yourself as well as your professors. So if you didn't necessarily want to take the next step to like a manager or someone like that, you could also do one of those conflict resolution sessions to see if that could help before you take any drastic steps.
Yeah. Everything at Humber is really great. Humber loves their group work, and which is really essential just because you're going to go out into a field. Well, no matter what field you're in, you have to be a part of a team. So it does teach you how to be a part of a team here. As well as you can see, your classroom spaces are pretty small, so you do have to talk to your peers. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to be having Christmas dinner. However, just be nice and be cordial, because having someone in college with you just makes it a little bit easier, because college by itself is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. It is quite hard. So we do recommend, if you can find us a little friend that you can smile with in one of your classes, do that.
If you know you have someone to do group projects with, no matter which class you're in,
that helps a lot. So if on your first day you find someone, stick with them as best as possible.
Link arms just like this.
And that you guys will be good. Otherwise, the last P was packages, but you guys don't have a package. However, you can stop by any Humber location, go to the front desk, the Academic and Career Success Center, and we can give you a package in case you want questions. You would like to see what's in those packages. There are different resources in there, like stuff you can, like the extensions for you to call for academic advice, for front desk, financial aid, transfer services. It's all in those packages. So if you ever want to stop by, you can stop by, pick up review books, and talk to one of our advisors or recruitment officers if they're there to speak to you. And you can book your appointment while you're on campus as well. So you may not have a package with you physically,
but
you can
online package.
You can get Humber.ca. It's all there for you. You can always call in and ask questions as well.
Yes. So we'll just keep heading out back this way. This concludes our L building tour, actually, and now we're just heading back to Kipling and Lakeshore.
That was too early.
The L building is 4 floors of classroom spaces. This isn't the only floor, and all the other classrooms are also
of the same size. Yeah.
Sorry, except for the second floor. Second floor is all cafeteria.
Yes.
It's first, third, and
and all 3 floors have the same size of classrooms, so we do have enough classroom space for all our students.
And something to also note for your timetables, if at any time it shows a cottage building letter, sentence, letter, and it shows B afterwards, that just means it's in the basement of that specific cottage. So if you had a class in CB, that would be the basement of the C building. Did you know that we had bees on campus?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there's actually an entire beehive.
Yeah, there's a beehive. That way they lock the door just to keep them safe. And that's it, because they're really like essential in like our food stuff.
They are
food supply,
actually.
So if you ever see a bee while you're on campus, don't be scared.
Yes.
Don't flash it. Just walk away slowly. Bees don't normally tend to harm you unless you harm them. So we just ask just to be kind to our bees. That's all.
And they are bees, not wasps.
Yeah, wasps.
And Humber was actually voted, they've been voted a couple years as a very green employer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, and everything, they like to have a green thumb in everything that they do.
Everything
Again,
they do.
the arbitorium, probably one of their best things that they've ever created ever. It's just such a lovely space to be in. This campus is so beautiful. This campus is so beautiful. Don't you agree?
I agree.
I think for everyone who agrees with us in this campus just being so gorgeous, they should put a like down below. Because
I know you can't feel the breeze on your face, but it feels really amazing.
it is honestly so amazing.
So if you can somehow feel it through YouTube, just drop in the comment, I feel the breeze.
I feel the breeze.
And it's pretty every season. So it's pretty in the summer, pretty in the fall.
Yes.
When the leaves start to change color.
Oh,
pretty in the
so
winter.
beautiful.
It's just a beautiful campus.
And even on really hot days when there's a heat wave all throughout, because we are closer to the lake cools everything down, so you're never feeling as hot as people further north would feel, which I really like. Just again for safety, I will be pressing this button. Not sure if we pointed out the construction that's happening over there, but we are actually working on building a performing arts center, a cultural hub, as well as more resident spaces. The residents should be open this September.
Yay!
For new students to be able to go in and to
So this walkway
live.
here will be in usage once that opens.
yes.
It's just closed right now just to have the center built. And then in fall, as they've told us, we can use it and you guys can check it out as well. It's gonna be pretty cool, I heard. I've heard it.
I've heard.
See the little blueprints like on the Humber website. It's super cool.
And like the
little tiers that they're gonna have in there.
I'm excited for the performing arts
Me
center
too.
because I know our performing arts students, they're very, very talented.
They're very talented.
Oh my goodness.
Like
just-
the auditorium is big, but I know they're like super excited to be on like a new stage. And
exactly. Because we have music students, we also have like performing arts
everything. We
students.
have acting students.
We have acting students, comedy writers as
They're
well.
gonna be so excited for that.
I think they're honestly I think they can't wait.
Have you ever seen them perform in the auditorium like during the end of the semester?
Yes, I actually had a friend. She was in the Bachelor of Music program.
Oh.
She was doing a recital,
Oh.
she was helping someone do their recital.
Okay.
And she sounded so beautiful. I'm sorry, I didn't listen to the person playing piano.
Oh.
He was the one who was actually doing the recital, but they sounded so beautiful. And he made the songs, set from scratch. He wrote all the songs, and he composed all the pieces. And I just thought that was very, very inspiring.
Like, isn't that amazing? I've been to one where they like a jazz
Mhm.
interpretation of it. And I was like, I stood there and I was like,
Wow.
wow,
Right?
wow,
Like, people are so talented.
wow.
For you to be able to write music for every sort of instrument that you're using, I just
Chef
find
kiss.
that's a talent.
Chef kisses.
I could try and play by ear, but that's the most I could go by.
And then whereas we just opened a new program, the new acting program.
Mhm.
So I know those kids that are the first set
Yes.
to come in fall to have a new performing arts student.
Oh my goodness.
They gotta be excited.
I bet they would be.
I'm excited. I'm not even in performing
And
arts.
right? Maybe marketers, we could do our
And
presentations.
they're like, hey, prof, can we do this in the performing arts? Actually, fingers crossed they allow us to.
I'm excited though for all the changes and everything.
But yeah, as you can see as we're walking, Humber is a very open campus. So you never feel like you're just at school. You feel like you're at a regular day in Toronto.
Yep.
Buses pass, students pass. There are different food stores along the stretch here. You never feel like you're just clumped up on just one campus. You're spread out all over if you do decide to come to a Lakeshore campus.
And if you look to our right, actually, you would see the Fashion Institute. Right now, it's for the fashion students, where they could display their different art pieces and work pieces. It's for both North and Lakeshore, but mostly the Lakeshore students. And something that you wouldn't have known from before, they actually used to sell alcohol during the Prohibition era. That's a little bit of Humber history for you.
Not the fashion students.
No, not not the current fashion students.
The people from the Prohibition era.
Yes. Sorry. No.
But yeah, as I mentioned before, as we're walking, we pass a lot of food stores. We have Tatsu, a pizza place, Subway, a bakery, Popeyes, Coco. Up there we have Osmos.
I've had their cookies. I fell absolutely in love from the first bite.
Yeah,
That's all I could say.
A&W, McDonald's, Dollarama. There's also a pizza place. There's also a Woody's.
There's a place that sells pierogi spring rolls. It's called Peg Rolls. Now, I haven't tried it, but I've been so intrigued because I love spring rolls, but I've never actually tried a pierogi before.
Yeah, me either.
So I can't wait to try that out.
Yeah.
And they actually just recently opened up. So if at any time you find yourself on the Lakeshore campus, I feel like you should definitely give them a try.
Yeah. As well as Tatsu's. Tatsu's has really great food, great sandwiches, great breads, great everything.
Great coffee.
It's great coffee. So you can always come with your families or friends, have a great lunch in there, sit down, eat, and just tell them you're here to run a Humber tour. And you're just like, you heard from us that it's a good recommendation. Stop by Tatsu's.
And I'm all for hidden gems of this area. So further down, closer to our fitness center, I will point it out, but there's a little like breakfast area called the Courses. Honestly,
oh yes,
every piece of fooding they just bring out to me is just amazing.
It's good.
I had a duck Benedict. I've never had duck before. I've never had a Benedict before, and I tried it for the first time with them. Love it all the time. I would be there all the time. They also have this specific like grapefruit tea or something that is, sign me up. I'll just be there anytime.
So as you hear us go along, more of the story with our main calf and all these food places,
you'll never go hungry.
It stretches all the way up.
Yes.
So if you actually want to have a fast food, it's there for you. You want to have a sit down meal, that's also there for you as well. We have Adriana's Pizza Pasta that's up a little bit further, like a 6-7 minute walk. I've been there. The owner is really nice. The food is really good. So you can always stop by there and just have some food. Just anywhere on the stretch, whatever your stomach's feeling for that specific day.
And if you ever wanted to get some in-between class shopping done, Sherway Gardens is also really close to this campus.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to just go over there, buy a couple things from Uretia's
or
whatever
for the evening class,
right? There's also more food options there again. So again, you're never going hungry.
HMR Foods and shots so they can feel the breeze.
Oh yes, that's great. So this building to the left over here, that's actually our residence building, and behind it, that's our A/B building. The residence is just where the students live, and the A and the B buildings are places where you could have classes. But in the A building, we also have like a physical gym where you'd be able to play basketball. The athletic center does also have drop-in sports, so for badminton, for volleyball, and they also have intramural, extramural, as well as varsity sports or varsity teams that you could join. The varsity teams do run from the North Campus, but as a Lakeshore Campus student, you could also apply to be a varsity player, but you would have to be able to make that transportation commitment from here to the North Campus anytime you do have to play or practice. And also in the A building is where our library is located. So again, it is on this side of the campus. They do tend to open up to pretty late when it is exam period. So that was always an option. They also do have their study rooms that we saw in the L building, as well as single study rooms again. And they also do have a library, as I mentioned before.
Also in the A building is our campus store. Campus store is where you can find anything Humbered. So if you want to be Humbered out from head to toe, you can. So you can have a Humber hat, Humber shirt, Humber pants, Humber socks. Not sure about shoes, but you can always check. They're always doing something new in the campus store. The campus is also where you can get any gifts you want to give someone. So a Humber teddy bear, a Humber cup is also available in there, as well as textbooks. We do recommend to buy your textbooks on campus so that when you're finished with them, you can always return them for a fraction of the cost that you bought them for. Now you can either buy used textbooks or new textbooks. It's up to you to decide which one you like. You can also rent a textbook from the bookstore as well, and this rent can either be soft copy or hard copy. It's up to your comfortability rate what you'd like for your textbooks. And there's also school supplies in here like notebooks, pencils, pens. Of course, they will be Humbered, but you can still use them. But I mean, who doesn't want to be Humbered?
So these are the places that I was talking about. Over here is where the pierogi rolls are that I will be coming back to try, and I will give you guys an update on. And also, if you book a campus tour with us, you would get a coupon where you'd be able to get 6 rolls for $5 plus tax. And if you wanted to go in, that was always an option. They're very, very accepting. They're very welcoming. And over here is the courses, the breakfast place that I was talking about. Again, such an amazing place to eat. It's so comfortable and cozy in there. They have multiple selection of items and of different food services. And I would definitely recommend if you're in between classes and you wanted something to eat. And over here is our fitness center, as well as an athletic center. We do have a separate building for fitness, and we're just going to show you the different spaces that run out of the fitness center. Hi. Thank you. Oh. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I hit this.
It's just policy because no, we can't have it. Sorry about that.
No
Okay.
problem. No problem. Thank you.
Do it outside.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, it's not.
Okay.
So on the first floor is a lot of your strength training. So anything that has to do with weights, you would find that on the first floor. On the second floor is where you would find the office, as well as open classrooms for like Zumba, for yoga, for Pilates. And they
strength
also have
training.
like a fitness schedule
Yeah.
for strength training, for yoga, for Pilates, and
It's for
different classes
Different
that
classes,
are being
different
held.
times, different
Yeah.
dates. It's on the fitness schedule. You can get it either in the fitness center or online. They're always posting it all over school as well. So if that interests you, you don't pay extra for these classes either. The most they're gonna ask you for is like your name, and it's really good. I've been to some, and like the trainers are always super nice, as well as the classmates that you have around you. And then on the third floor is our fully equipped cardio room. So it has everything you can think of: a stairmaster, a treadmill, bicycles. Everything you can think of a cardio room, it's in the cardio room. And once again, the fitness center is including your tuition.
Yep.
So the most you'd have to do is go to the second floor to the main building and to show your confirmation of enrollment that you are a Humber student. They give you an ID and you're good to go. You don't pay anything extra. Get that free fitness in without paying extra money, guys.
And the most amazing part about it is that no matter if you're a student at the North or the Lakeshore campus, you can use facilities at both campuses. So if you had just the North registration for the athletic center, you could come down here and you could use this fitness center, as well as doing any of the drop-in sports as well.
As well, if you want to. They also have work study programs here as well as regular volunteer opportunities that you can work with the athletics department as well. Get exercising while experience. So that's also an opportunity for you here at the fitness center.
And if there are no more questions for us, this brings us to the official end of our tour. We hope we answered any questions you maybe that you weren't able to answer.
And if we didn't, and after the tour you're like, I forgot to ask this, you can always call it 416-675-6622 with the extension of 4048, or you can email us at humber.recruitment@humber.ca, or you can just walk into any academic and career success center and ask questions as well. Our recruitment ambassador would be there, and we can answer your questions, or you can go online at humber.ca/advising to speak to a recruitment officer if you're still considering is Humber the right place for you.
And you can always book an in-person tour if you wanted to see this again, but in person.
The opportunity is also there for you as well. If there's no more questions, we hope you had a good day. We hope you enjoyed your tour. Bye.